Good evening everyone. Ang tatalakayin ko po ay ang curriculum framework. This is Mrs. Maydinti Javier. What is curriculum framework? So, what is curriculum framework? Pagka po sinabi natin framework, it is used in any context, implies na po a means of organizing and managing content. And what are those contents? Such as policies, procedure, concepts, and so on in a systematic ways. Ibig sabihin, ito yung pag-aayos natin, pag-organize natin ng ating mga policies and procedures. Tapos po, in most contexts, a framework is not about the content only or content itself, but about how the content might be structured, controlled, or regulated. So, what is a curriculum framework? It is an organized plan or a set of standards or learning outcomes that defines the content to be learned in terms of clear, definable standards of what the student should know and be able to do. A curriculum framework is also outcome-based education or standard-based education reform design. So, what are the reasons for curriculum framework development? Unang-una po is to organize, control, or regulate the content of the curriculum. Included po dito yung mga subject descriptions or yung tinatawag nating courses syllabus. Okay? As well as po yung mga textbook and learning materials na ginagamit natin. Dapat pong ito lahat ay naka-align sa curriculum. Another reason is to apply a range of matters that can have a direct impact on the development and implementation of the curriculum. For example po dito, yung mga activities na gagawin natin within the school year, align po bang lahat yun sa curriculum natin? And the last one, meet the current and future needs of the country, teaching methodology, teacher recruitment and selection, assessment and examination practices, and even class size. So, ibig sabihin po natin sa curriculum framework development natin, lahat ay titingnan natin kung lahat po ba ng bagay na binanggit ko kanina ay naka-align sa ating curriculum. So, mostly po, curriculum framework development should align po to the need of our curriculum. Another reason po is to provide learning opportunities of the highest quality to the students. As our stakeholders, yung mga estudyante po natin yung ating primary clientele. And the last reason is to face challenges and problems in achieving this aim and solving this problem. Halimbawa po dito yung paggamit natin ng SIP o yung School Improvement Plan. Kasi tinitingnan natin ano in the future yung magiging kakaharapin nating problema at papaano natin ito mareresolbahan. So, what are the important features of curriculum framework and development process? Dahil alam natin, yung curriculum framework is a very powerful document. Ito po ay centerpiece of the curriculum and can have an impact on all parts of the education system and on a range of matters related to curriculum policies and practices. And here are as follows. The first features is planned and systematic. Pag sinabi natin planned and systematic, educational change of any significant nature is often difficult. This is primarily because it often challenges traditional or existing beliefs and require changes to existing practices. This is particularly true to curriculum changes, which can affect thousands of teachers and hundreds and thousands of students as well, in any parts of education system. Another one is comprehensive. Once we say comprehensive, bakit? Kasi it is critical that the process of developing a curriculum framework be comprehensive and consider all appropriate issues and challenges. Kailangan nakikita natin ano-ano yung mga challenges na kinakaharap ng ating curriculum. Then, another one, while subsequent amendments and realignments can always be made, it is important that in the initial framework must be correct and complete as much as possible. Particularly po, those with our syllabus, textbooks, and assessment must be planned and initiated. Another one is informed. Development of a curriculum framework is a specialized task which should be led and conducted by suitably experienced and qualified people. So the process must be the responsibility of the people who are experienced in the current curriculum. For example, yung teachers must be involved in the curriculum development. Ano po? They should be very familiar with the overall education system and the context as well as the concept of the curriculum framework. So, dapat yung mga taong nandito, aside from being informed, alam po nila talaga kung ano yung nangyayari within the school, within the curriculum system. So, ibig sabihin, involved talaga or nandun talaga sila sa sistema. Then, targeted. As mentioned earlier, a curriculum framework should not be viewed as a solution to all curriculum problems and challenges. No po? The reasons for developing a curriculum framework and the objectives to be achieved should be clear and well documented. The development process should therefore be targeted to achieve these objectives. Then the next one, number 5, is broadly supported. Because a curriculum framework will most likely have an impact across the education system, it is important that the process of development have broad systematic support. Malawak po ang kanyang nasasakupan. This support will rely on a clear information about the process and its progress being provided. And that can be demonstrated through attendance at the involvement of the meetings, conference, briefings, as well as policy development support. And the last one is inclusive. No po? The process of developing a curriculum framework should acknowledge the importance of consulting with education stakeholders. So, ibig sabihin, lahat tayo kadamay. Starting from the students, the stakeholders, as well as the teachers, no po? The administrative offices, lahat po tayo, no po, while communicating openly and transparently with the stakeholders about the process. No po, the importance of the importance of the input process should be valued. So, ibig sabihin po, dapat yung involvement ng bawat stakeholders natin at ng lahat ng taong involved dun sa curriculum process ay nakikita dapat. Another one po is yung stage of curriculum framework development process. There are many ways po to develop a curriculum framework. The following are the developmental process or development process in a logical sequence. However, it is acknowledged that variation to sequence and activities described in these strategies may be necessary. The first stage is the evidence gathering. Should be viewed as the pre-stage. No po, ito po yung una. In other words, it should be precede the development process itself. Okay, activities to provide evidences supporting the needs for curriculum framework, such as the formal curriculum review or other formal evaluation processes. The second stage is the preparation stage. It is a critical process of developing a curriculum framework. Just as the design and planning of a building will determine the design challenges, how those challenges will be met, how long will it take to build the resources to need the needed resources to build the building. Halimbawa po nito, kung familiar po kayo dun sa Salesian way of education, alam niyo po ba yung mga building nila ay lahat ay naka L-shape, o di kaya po naman ay parang naka U-shape. May reason po yun sa kanila. Kaya daw po nila ini-U-shape yung building nila ay para pag halimbawang nasa third floor ka, kita mo kung ano yung nangyayari sa ground floor at sa lahat ng corners nung school mo. Kaya po ganun yung pagkaka-establish ng mga building nila. So, ito po yung mga halimbawa ng preparation prior po dun sa curriculum implementation. The third stage po natin ay yung development. The curriculum framework itself is developed. Normally po, the process involves a series of plan of activities, including po yung mga writing workshop, piloting, yung mga ginagawang program, then consultations events. Then, halimbawa po dito ay, forums with the stakeholder groups, planned media briefing, periodic briefings. Ito po yung development stage. Then, another stage po natin ay yung tinatawag nating implementation. During this stage po, the curriculum framework is implemented across the education system. Okay? Tapos po yung next one, syempre, hindi mawawala yung ating stage 5, which is the monitoring and evaluation. The focus in this is the development and implementation process. No po? In other words, the emphasis here is not on whether or not the framework itself is successful, but on whether or not the various processes used to develop and implement the framework were efficient and effective. Dito na po natin titingnan yung efficiency and effectiveness ng ating curriculum framework. However, it is likely that some information will also be gathered about the quality of the framework itself, and some of which could indicate the need for the framework to be amended in some way. Any planning that occurs needs to take account of local circumstances and should assure the time frames are practical and achievable in the local context. So, katulad po sa ating curriculum framework, dapat po lahat ito ay achievable po sa mga sa applicable din po dapat doon sa konteksto ng ating educational system. Allow me po to finish my presentation with this quote. No po. A good curriculum can change the face and fate of the nation. Maaari nating mabago ang ating bansa nang dahil sa isang curriculum. Maraming salamat po.